Hi. I've brought a prepared statement with me today. I feel that this is a perfectly appropriate gesture, since the man whose opinions we're rebutting here also brought in a few notes to support his point. He took his notes, and that's just fine. And now I'll respond by kicking ass and taking names. I'll be working from the general to the specific. First, I'll address American conservatism as the insidious disease that it is, and afterward, I'll discuss some of Sergeant Kovach's statements in particular. I should mention in passing that the following statements are merely my personal opinion. I can speak for neither Chuck nor Panda, the other two members of the Lemuric triumvirate. They may or may not agree with me. If they don't, that's their problem, because I'm right. The primary point I'd like to begin with is that the American right wing and or the entirety of the American conservative political machine is suffering from a collective delusion. They seem to think that they own this country. To hear them tell it, they have a complete and unshakable monopoly on the electoral system, as well as on every other facet of the American political landscape. Don't you believe it? The next time a conservative tells you that we need to take back this country, ask him from whom he's trying to take it back. That's right, they're trying to take it from the left wing and or all socio-political dissenters. And therein lies another delusion. You can't take back something that was never given. If you think this country isn't being run by a mob of bullet-headed, greed-mongering right-wing bullies, you're deluded. They never gave up a single square inch of their turf, not since the days of George Washington, and they're not giving up any tomorrow either. Yet, the right wing forms the largest contingent of sissy-ass, cringing whiners that the world has ever spawned. Oh, the poor little dears. The poor little religious right, millions of loudmouth, bigoted members strong, who are so downtrodden. School prayer is a perfect example, and a splendid gauge of their infantile behavior. So some guy in a remote wheat field in Alabama finally musters the balls to suggest that maybe his kid doesn't need to be praying to a God his household doesn't even subscribe to. Watch the conservatives respond by whining incessantly about the liberal media as if such a thing ever existed, while they gang up like schoolyard bullies and pound the living crap out of one lone protester for having dared to open his mouth. Listen to their radio broadcasts. I do. Shortwave radio has become an inadvertently hilarious theological junkyard of dim-witted armchair God-botherers pushing a right-wing agenda that makes the Taliban look like a Boy Scout convention. And they'll whine right on cue about how persecuted they are and what a minority they are, the whole teeming lot of them. Excuse me, time for a reality check. Right-wing America, this is not your country. This is our country. And by our, I don't mean my particular ideological camp. I mean our entire nation, from the most right-wing militia member to the most die-hard anarchist, the great collective our, the editorial we. Which means that the unwashed wino puking his guts up in the alley has just as much right to broadcast his political opinions as you do. Which means that his vote also counts and can effectively cancel out your pathetically predictable right-wing ballot. The vote of a homosexual, a socialist, a prostitute, a hippie, a biker, or back alley abortionist means just as much as yours. Does that bother you? Well, democracy kind of sucks that way. But it's democracy you claim to support, right? Well, the right wing no more supports true democracy than it supports an army of gay, acid-gobbling rodeo clowns in drag. Come on, wave that flag. Wave that goddamn rag until it implodes, you witless sheep. If it weren't for open revolt, we wouldn't even have this country whose flag you so proudly abuse day after day for your own self-serving authoritarian agenda. Human society in its refined state is a meritocracy. Do not pin a badge on some random fool and tell me that he has authority over me simply because he's wearing a spiffy uniform. He must earn that respect. Do not tell me to obey the government simply because it's there. Has the government ever proven itself to be a fit custodian of the public good? In the same way, parents do not deserve to be worshipped simply because they crapped out a few children. Any random simpleton can have children. Any random beer-guzzling lout can provide a sperm sample and father a child. But to truly be a father, respect must be earned. If an authority figure proves himself over time to be nothing but a worthless bully, then he must eventually be overthrown and replaced with a peaceful and positive influence. From the president right down to the lowest crack whore, this nation needs to become a meritocracy. You want my respect? Earn it, damn your eyes. And now I'd like to turn my attention towards Sergeant Gene Kovach, the man to whom we're addressing this public rebuttal. He took me to task personally on a number of vital issues, and I'd like to discuss a few of them here. The sergeant noted with dismay that I'm telling the youth of Fayetteville to revolt. Well, hell yes, I'm telling the youth of Fayetteville to revolt. I'm also telling the senior citizens the same thing. I'm telling everybody a simple, beautiful truth, that you don't have to take it anymore. No more blind follow-the-leader, authority-worshipping crap. And aren't you just about tired of being spoon-fed bullshit as if it were manna from heaven? Just because somebody has been established as an authority figure doesn't mean they automatically come equipped with a functioning brain. Police officers, priests, judges, military personnel, bosses, teachers, and legislators are human beings and are just as subject to bad judgment and moral lapses as anyone else. But what do we do as a society? We set these people up as household gods, as icons, as sterling examples of all things good and noble. But they're fallible, and they often become the worst kind of bullies and despots because we let them. And let me address Sarge's military posturings for just a moment. Anyone who says he loves the youth of America but subsequently advocates sending them to war to get them killed is seriously deranged. You can't have it both ways. You either love people or you want to get them killed. There are no two ways about it. How dare people speak of love and the military in the same breath? Any true Christian is by their very nature a pacifist. As I recall, Christ's words on love in the New Testament didn't mention anything about blowing your neighbor's brains out. I am the way, the truth, and the light. And hey, see that guy over there in a turban? Go pop a cap in his ass. At any rate, we're here to provide a rebuttal to the Sarge on a number of crucial points. Not that anything he said actually warrants a civil response. This joker waltzed in and called us everything but a tribe of purple-ass baboons and expects us to take it lying down. Well, surprise, surprise, Gomer. Of course we're doing a rebuttal. Of course we're going to expose your demented psychobabble for the quasi-literate sewage that it really is. You say that we're negative, rotten influences, yet you come around and shit all over our program, and infinitely worse on our ideology itself. Well, that's fair. It's a free country, a point you need to knock into your pointed reactionary head. But payback's a bitch, Sarge. By the time we get through reaming you, you're going to have a size 11 asshole. Of course, we're talking figuratively. Nearly the entire viewing audience will recognize this obvious fact, but not good old Sarge. He's already blown it so badly on 9 points out of 10 that we're going to have to spell things out for him. It's kind of like interpreting for the deaf, except the deaf are actually intelligent. You have to speak a different language with this guy. No satire or obvious sarcasm allowed. There are so many points where blatant satire was misconstrued that it's not even funny. So I'm going to spell it out in plain English. It's satire. It's a joke. Funny. Ha-ha. Get it? No, I didn't think so. Can you believe that this guy came on TV and called me a murderer? For once, I'm stunned. Haven't you ever joked around with anybody and said, man, if you do that again, I'm going to kill you? It doesn't mean you're literally going to kill that person. I can't believe that I'm even being put in a position of having to sit here and explain this. Anybody with an IQ above that of a toadstool should be capable of recognizing that it's a joke. Well, the old adage has never been more true than now. Fuck them if they can't take a joke. It's wearisome having to explain every single reference, every single joke. Are we now supposed to flash gigantic blinking text beneath every frame in which we're performing satire? Or should we do what sane people do? Pitch the ball to the competent batters who can actually keep up and screw the rest. If you can't comprehend satire, I hold out little hope for your future as a citizen of this planet. And we here at the Abbey of the Lemur are all about satire. Since the days of the Roman Empire, and long before, satire has been used as a crucial tool for socio-political commentary. The Sarge said in his show that he liked the comedian Red Skelton. I agree, very funny man. But I like Lenny Bruce even better. And Lenny Bruce was nailed to a cross by pin-headed idiots who couldn't comprehend the complexities of satire. That's what always happens when you confront an undereducated, superstitious populace with a mixture of art and satire. And if you think we're fans of satire, we're also pretty keen on dissent and open revolt. Dissent is our franchise, our legacy, and our political duty. Anything less involves pure cowardice and a selling out of one's soul. And if you insist on taking the theological high road, then remember that God didn't create us to be a tribe of block-headed idiots. Christ died to save you from your sins, not from your brain. Don't be the kind of Christian that Christ himself would be embarrassed of. I swear, if Jesus could see some of the people who dare to call themselves Christians these days, he'd climb right back up on the cross and start all over again. At any rate, we were meant for higher things than blind servitude. If God had wanted an army of mindless worshippers, he'd have created a heaven full of soulless automatons and been done with it. But that's not what happened. Hey, it's called free will. Use it. I am not a murderer. I am not a Satanist. But so what if I were? I am not, in fact, most of the things that Sarge called me. He has so grossly misjudged me that it borders on outright character assassination. But that's okay. This character has been assassinated before, plenty of times. And like a phoenix, I just keep rising up out of the ashes to continue my sinister and often hilarious agenda. If you think that you can stop this reporter from making TV shows just because it might offend a bunch of humorless, literalistic nincompoops, you're sorely deluded. I'm on TV today. I'll be on TV tomorrow. I'll be in your living rooms creeping right upon you like a cultural dose of clap you'll never get rid of. And as for my being a bad influence upon young people, don't make me laugh. You sit there on your high horse acting like you're bleeding out the ass with concern for kids. Well, we're giving those same kids the only message of true hope they're going to get around here. A message of independence, inventiveness, creativity, and the limitless energies of the human spirit. What are you selling them? A bag of bullshit, that's what. Follow the leader. Stand in line. Don't speak unless spoken to. You're selling them a future as sheep, and you'll be the first to dance around their caskets when they're finally turned into lamb chops. You're selling them a future of death, cultural stagnation, repression and tyranny. You're selling them a future full of nothing but limits and intellectual handicaps. You might as well fucking cripple them now and be done with it. It's called bad faith, Jack. You're a low-rent tinker peddling your dilapidated wares of putrid dogma, toxic ideology, conditional love, mediocrity, blatant hypocrisy, bourgeois bullshit, and trailer court ethics. You're packing all the intellectual finesse of Dobermans screwing in the street. Keep on touting the Protestant jerk ethic. Keep insisting that we all play by the rules, color inside the lines, and think inside the box. The kids and every sane adult will see your worldview for what it is, transparent and utterly abominably hollow. The emptiness of the lifestyle you're proposing is beyond all measure. The stark cavernous void that used to be your soul is as vacant as any ghost town and twice as forgotten. You can hang 10,000 flags on your wall and wear every military decoration known to man, and you'll still add up to zero if you refuse to think for yourself. And you won't improve your soul by parroting whatever line of garbage is handed to you by some random chowder-headed preacher. Chances are that same preacher is just parroting the crap that he heard decades ago from some other poor deluded chump. Second-hand spirituality will get you nowhere. Third-rate dime store theology will not save your soul. And as John Prine so aptly said, your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. If you thought by attacking us you were attacking a group of complacent, witless sheep, brother, were you ever dialing the wrong number? Screw with us and you'll be bested every time, and in every imaginable arena. You want to talk theology, philosophy, politics? We'll crucify you. From Aquinas to Kierkegaard, we can rip your arguments to tatters. We'll tear your immortal soul out your cowering, puckered asshole and use what's left of you as an Easter bonnet. Whether by mechanisms of humor, spirituality, higher thought, postmodern psychology, artistic deconstruction, or any of the other 1,000 tools that thinking man has at his disposal, we can demolish your arguments like a bad housing project. And our wrecking ball is a large one, very large, about the size of our balls, and it's made of well-tempered iron. We wish ill will toward no man, but we'll sure as hell smash bad ideas down to size when we hear them. If you go around spreading bullshit on every street corner, Don't act surprised when someone comes around and tells you that it stinks. Everyone has a role in society, and one of our roles is functioning as a bullshit police. Except when we're through with you, the only jail you'll find yourself in is the jail of your own humiliation. You'll be publicly revealed as a braying jackass, and you'll have brought it upon yourself. You made a statement that you don't dislike us. We don't dislike you either, but your ideas stink, and we're about to publicly launder them before the stench nauseates the entire tri-state area. You'll not only be washed in the blood of the Lamb, but boiled alive in the caustic acid of public opinion and subsequently hung out to dry. And all the time you'll be wondering what happened. You'll wonder why a nice guy like you is getting this treatment, despite the fact that you attacked first, made false statements about us, and did it without provocation. True, you had the nerve to go on TV and say what you really thought, and for that we commend you. No joke. That was great. But you knew we'd do a rebuttal, didn't you? I mean, you knew you were setting yourself up for this, so don't try to play innocent. You courted this, damn I begged for it, and here it is, in your face. Like most conservatives, you made the classic error of grossly underestimating the human intellect. The frightening truth is that most people actually possess average or better than average intelligence. Oh, sure, they're smart enough theoretically not to fall for the propaganda and bullshit. It's just that they're willingly idiotic. There aren't that many IQ points difference between the average Joe and the great thinkers of mankind. It's just that most people are content to allow their minds to rot like festering meat. And after that point, others will be pleased to do their thinking for them. Well, Christ forgive us here at the Abbey of the Lemur for daring to suggest an alternative. That you can be a competent, thinking, worthwhile human being now without waiting for permission from any self-appointed authority. If your family attempts to curtail your creativity and capacity for rational thought, cut them off now and save yourself decades of pain and heartache. If a religious figure tries to tell you that you're a worthless, filthy nobody, a stinking, rotten sinner fit only for a lifetime of servitude on your knees, then tell them to go to hell. You are valuable. You are a star. The only reason you're not shining like a star is because some idiot has convinced you to hide your light. There are a whole class of people who not only insist on dimming their own lights, but expect you to dim yours as well, out of courtesy for their own atrocious ignorance. Your light will be perceived as a threat. Well, here's the good news. Not only can you outshine everyone around you, but you can find limitless levels of brilliance, unhindered by small-minded tyrants and self-limiting imbeciles. All it takes is the bravery to cast off the worn-out rules and regulations that are hindering your life and get on with the business of excellence. Now, the Sarge says that we here at the Abbey are negative, harmful people. I beg to differ. His message is as dim and hopeless as it gets. His formula for success appears to involve doing every stupid thing that any random authority figure tells you to do. Do what you're told, and what's your big reward in the end? You get to join the military and become cannon fodder. If that's not negativity, I don't know what is. People, it's time to say no. Just turn your backs on this dim, hopeless reality. Boycott it now. Life is too short to waste on blind obedience. Don't spend one more second of your life trying to pursue some bogus agenda being pushed by an artless, stultified creep. Don't let the bastards grind you down. They'll claim all day long that they've got your best interest in mind, but anyone hustling such an agenda certainly does not have anything remotely resembling your best interests in mind. What they've got is their head up their ass. Life is short. You can either live it as an ineffectual, cringing ass-kisser, or you can live it as a victorious, happy, self-actualized human being. I personally choose to live in a positive and independent manner. How about you? In closing, I'd like to say that we're not offering you a choice between an obvious dichotomy, our way of thinking versus Sarge's way. No, we're advocating something even better, choosing your own way. You owe allegiance to no one. Forget about following others and forge your own path. Don't settle for anything less than brilliance. We advocate nothing more than radical independence and nothing less than complete personal liberty. But you've heard this message from us 1,000 times before. I didn't come here to preach a sermon. The ball's in your court now. Do what thou wilt. I just came here to provide a rebuttal, and now I've done it. The Sarge can either rebut our rebuttal, or go slinking off into the abyss. I don't personally care. He's supplied you with platitudes and dogma. We've supplied you with rationalism and a good dose of humor. I'm proud of the shows we've done, even at their lowest, most vulgar moments, which are often their best moments. And I'm certainly not going to let some random jackass spoil my creativity and personal kicks with constant negativity and naysaying. You can like this show or hate it. I don't give a damn. But I stand behind it. And that's the bottom line. Thank you.
Evening, folks. We are the cast of the Abbey of the Lemur, and we're here for a very special presentation tonight. I want to introduce myself. My name's C.F. Roberts. I was the publisher of Shockbox, literary art magazine with teeth. I'm an award-winning poet, and I've done lots of other silly stuff like that. To my left is my cohort, Andrew Lucarello, and he's also a published poet. He's a craftsman, an entrepreneur. And to my right, we have Shannon X. Frock, who is also an award-winning poet, former publisher, editor-in-chief.
Yeah.
This is the zine world, folks. It's cheap, believe me. Former editor-in-chief of Hyacinth House Publications. And she's a musician of some note, singer, songwriter, does all kinds of cool stuff. We are the Lemurs, and this is going to be kind of a special gig for us. We were, how should I say, assailed?
Assaulted?
Assaulted? Oh, I don't know, but whatever the case, this cat came, buggered, yeah, this cat came on and said some rather disparaging things about us on his little show, and
old Peckerwood.
We wanted to come out on our little show and kind of answer and address a few of the things he said.
And ream him up the ass.
So, let's take a little step back, and we're going to introduce you to our friend, Sergeant Eugene Kovach.
I appreciate you bearing with me. You can tell that this is the first time that I've ever done this.
You reckon, Gomer?
Oh, we all got to start somewhere, don't we? All right. But
I'm proud of you.
Let's get down to brass tacks. I want to compliment the sergeant for actually having the guts to do what a lot of our detractors don't, which is that he actually came on and did his own show. I think that's commendable.
That is commendable. We've tried and tried to get these jackasses who call in and complain about the show to just have the common decency and balls to come down to the station and do a rebuttal. And they won't do it. They won't approach us personally because they're chicken shit. But the Sarge came to the studio and he actually recorded a rebuttal show. He was so offended by our program that he came and spoke out against it, and that takes some nerve. It was an asinine show, but it takes some nerve to make it, so
we kind of give him the thumbs up.
Hats off to the Sarge.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarge.
All right. Anyway, so all formalities dispensed with at this point. What do you say we burn this jackass?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking turd boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up the poop chute. Yep.
But I'm glad you're here, and I want to speak on a few subjects. Basically, patriotism, love, concern for one's fellow man, and positive feelings within the community.
And other horse shit.
I wrote some notes because I want to be sure to not miss any of the subjects that I want to touch on. But let me just refer to my notes now, and I'll let you know what I have on my mind.
If anything.
Well, we brought our notes too, and we're going to take a second out now to just kind of delve into our notes. Snap into a Slim Jim!
Snap into some KY.
Man, they're going out of the doubleheader in here.
Oh, cool.
Baseball.
Damn, it's not just for breakfast anymore.
Where have I heard that before? Hang on to this, will you? And, I think you want one of these.
Man, I don't think we came, like, fully prepared.
Nah. Well, I don't know. Lord knows we brought enough stuff. All right, let's just kind of make sure we're all on the same page here.
So, birch. That's what I said. Oh. Oh. Takes talent. Lemuric magic.
Whee! We're talking some serious Lemuric magic here, folks.
Yeah.
So shall we make sure we're all on the same page here?
Hey, Sarge.
Page 2.
This one's for you.
Doom on you.
Doom on you, Sarge.
Hey.
Don't even lubricate it.
Hey, Shan, enough fun here. Just, let's just make sure we're on the same page.
2.
Yeah.
Hey, look. I'm a dickhead.
It's too low. Too low.
Sweet.
But,
This just tastes terrible, man. Well, God knows whose ass this thing was up before I got hold of it. Oh, the cameraman's! Yay! Okay. All right. Would you come out and show us your lovely face? This is the man whose ass this thing was up. Come and say hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is our lovely assistant, Miss Harris. You can just sit right here. There you go.
All right, so where were we?
yeah.
We're up Eris's ass.
We need to get some action going here. So.
I'm just going to take my hat off and get comfortable.
Does this guy look like he's ever been comfortable in his life?
Does this guy look like he's ever had an orgasm in his life? Fuck's sake, man.
But,
He looks like an old pud.
I hope you're enjoying yourself out there, relaxing in a nice, easy chair.
Well, and here we are with our asses glued to a chair.
Yeah, and they aren't that easy, but, I really shouldn't complain. I mean,
Yeah, what the hell?
I could be going through what Eris just went through.
Yeah.
But,
I'm so comfortable, I wish he'd come find all my balls.
who, Eris or Sergeant Kovach?
Yeah.
Sarge. I get Eris anytime I want.
Yeah, he's kind of like our bitch. He's kind of like our communal property, But the Sarge, now that's a rare piece of ass, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
You can just see old Sarge, taking it up the stovepipe.
Oh, Christ on a unicycle.
I'd also like to thank Mayor Cootie, who's been a help to me in preparing certain things that I wanted to address. Dan, I didn't vote for you. I voted for Mayor Fred Hanna.
Gee, nothing like sloppy seconds, huh, Dan?
Yeah, hey, at least one of us voted for your ass.
Yeah, what a numbnuts. Why did Sarge even say that?
I don't know. I mean,
He's wanting to win points, huh?
By saying that, yeah.
Turd.
Yeah. And, well, Dan, if you're watching, you got some supporters here, and we like you, and, you can come over some morning and, have pancakes with us or something. And, hang out and watch cartoons and stuff with us. And we can, hang out and get drunk and watch Casper the Friendly Ghost. And so that's my personal invitation to Mayor Cootie. And I'm sure he'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the following discussions that I'm going to give are based solely on my own personal opinion. They don't reflect the opinion of the United States Army, the U.S. military. They don't reflect the opinion of this station or anyone else. They're just my own personal opinion.
Well, if that's so, then why is he wearing the uniform, therefore representing the Army with his statements?
As he slanders us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Could it be because he's a fucking moron? No. Wait, that was slander.
We've got the editorial process.
It was not. It was character assassination.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, and he says...
He's confused. The sergeant is confused. He needs therapy. Something must have gone terribly, terribly awry.
Terribly, terribly awry.
But I think that these things needed to be addressed, especially after a program that I saw on this good station about a week ago. Several days ago, I saw a program called Abbey of the Lemur on TV. I was up late one night. I believe it was on a Sunday, early Sunday morning, and then I saw it later on in the afternoon.
Well,
bullshit.
Well, I must admit to being rather bewildered by that, since we air our show at night and usually after midnight, so what he saw in the afternoon, I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know. As an act of social responsibility, we put this show on late at night so that jackasses can't phone us up and say, oh, the children might be watching this show. There's no excuse.
But they will anyway.
He did. He did a whole fucking show saying that this is bad for children. You know? It's like, what the hell? Who is letting their children watch this show?
After midnight.
On Saturday.
On Saturday after midnight. Well,
well, I don't know. Okay, so there's like one welfare whore in a trailer somewhere that's letting her kids sit up and do this. But aside from that, no, the only child watching this program is the Sarge.
And these folks addressed some things that I think were very negative and bad. So I would like to take part of this program and rebut some of the things that they said, because in my opinion they weren't good for anyone, not even themselves.
Comments?
Yeah, I don't know what's good for me. I need someone like the Sarge to tell me.
Hell yeah.
It's a good thing we have these self-appointed moral guardians, isn't it?
Oh yeah. We need the Sarge. We need to clone that motherfucker. You know, we need to have a Sarge on every street corner.
I need that like I need a fucking rotten scrotum.
I'd also like to address the importance of the citizens of this good country serving their country, their community, and I think they also ought to take time to be concerned about themselves. And you know, if you can't love yourself, it's very difficult to love someone else.
Like self-love is about all he gets.
I don't know.
Self-abuse.
Isn't it?
Skin in the weeds.
Isn't it great when we can get, I don't know, relationship advice from this guy?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, and he's obviously so up on love, being the handsome so-and-so that he is.
And like Michael Landon said to his family and friends just before he died, he said, all I want you to do is just to love one another.
Then he invokes the corpse of Michael Landon. Why? What does Michael Landon do to merit this? I mean, he's this.
He had cool hair, man.
Well, he's this guy who did, I don't know what, a couple of lame TV series.
Yeah,
and, you know, and I was a teenage werewolf. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean,
Yeah, he was
don't fuck with Little Joe, man.
Yeah.
and Bonanza. Okay, sorry, Bonanza.
Yeah. And he was on Little House and Buttfuck Egypt or something, or I mean, you know, one of those shows. But let's hear it for the rotting corpse of Michael Landon. Huzzah!
And everybody remembers John Lennon, a famous music star from a group called the Beatles. He wrote a song, and in that song he sang, "All you need is love."
And then he invokes John Lennon and informs us. And he's good enough to inform us that John Lennon used to be in this group called the Beatles. I'm glad I've got this kind of advice, you know, being handed to me.
I need my rock trivia from one as such as a Sarge.
Hey, Sarge is a rockin' guy.
He's a rockin' motherfucker.
He is. Sarge jams. I mean, did you catch that time the time that Sarge opened for Marilyn Manson? That was so cool.
Oh man, I mean,
yeah.
Everybody was.
What a show!
Threw him off the stage. I mean,
I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I thought
I like
great.
it when he ate the glass. That was cool.
That was cool.
And when it came out.
And when he fucked the burro, that rocked. And Sarge rocks.
Yeah, man, down with the Sarge.
But he says he invokes Jesus Christ and says.
Who also played in the Beatles?
Sergeant Kovach invokes John Lennon. Now, you are a Beatles fan, am I correct?
Yeah, I kind of grew up with them.
Yeah, so what's your whole take on that? What's your opinion on that? Is there anything you have to say?
Well, for him to use it in that kind of context, like, oh, look, I can quote John Lennon and say that this is, you know, a good thing and a bad thing. It's kind of like a slap to the face. I mean, when I heard the Sergeant say that, I pretty much heard John Lennon and George Harrison roll over in their graves respectively. And that's never a good thing.
And of course, the greatest person, the Lord Jesus Christ, he taught not just the Ten Commandments, but he said all the Ten Commandments can be summed up in these two commandments. First of all, you need to love the Lord, the God that made you, with all your heart, mind, and soul. And he said the other is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
Got your self-love right here, Sarge.
Can we get get a news up.
We love you, Sarge.
Haruzi weighs a ton. Okay, self-love.
Yep, got your self-love right here. And here's
Love.
a little bit, here's just a little bit for you, Sarge.
A little self-loving it, loving the tube. Yeah, just give it a little squeeze and watch that love just kind
This is
of
actually filled with pre-cum fluid.
spew out all over onto the scene, man. You know what I'm talking about.
All right.
Mentos.
The fresh bacon.
It's not even real KY, man. It's equate lubricating jelly.
It's
You just imagine
It's,
that Walmart sells that.
Brush your teeth with. Give me my KY.
brush your teeth with lube. But
Sometimes there are a couple guys I met who do.
And if you love your neighbor, you won't want to harm them in any way. You won't want to encourage them to do wrong things.
well, you know.
Well, if you hate your neighbor.
Well, you know, yeah, unlike those bad lemurs who harm people every day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we go around butt-fucking our neighbors.
Oh, yeah. Birds.
Yep. That's us, the neighbor ass-raping society.
But, don't you wish you could do that?
If I could do that, I'd never leave the house.
But, you know.
Hey, choke the chicken.
Yeah. Oh, savage, beastly, barbaric.
Gonna feed you M&Ms.
You'll try to help them if they need a helping hand. You'll reach out there to them and give them that helping hand.
And here it is again.
Yeah, well, in seriousness, all right. Where have we heard this before? I'll give you a hint. Shannon said it, and she said it on Abbey at the Lemur.
Yep.
Take a look yourself.
You can see out of the box, can't you? Well, if you can, you need to be helping other people see out of the box. And there's a certain intellectual elitism where you hit the point, and yeah, we laugh about people being stupid, but after a certain point, you've got to reach down and help your brother out of the box. Or it's all worthless.
I'd like to briefly address the reason I'm wearing the uniform. A soldier's not supposed to wear his uniform when he's engaged in political or private profit, commercial profit, anything of that nature. But this is a non-profit thing. All it is one fellow citizen that, who lives here in Fayetteville and cares about the people of Fayetteville.
And he goes on to ramble a lot about for-profit and non-profit crap, but never really does explain, he never really does explain why he's wearing the uniform. I have a personal opinion on that myself, and that's that what he isn't saying, and what maybe is only occurring in his latent little brain, is that he's wearing the uniform because he is a warrior, a soldier, and he is in one level or another engaging us as a warrior. And what his intent is, I don't know, because I can't think for him. It may be, it's probably, I would assume, spiritual warfare.
Yeah, you can't think for him, but Christ, he can barely think for himself.
But he never says it, and he never really explains clearly why he's wearing the uniform, but, you know, he comes out and he basically, you know, my whole thing is the program is an act of warfare. Well, you know, we're responding in kind because, as you may see here, we're all wearing uniforms of a sort.
Let me ask you this, you know, get a little personal opinion off you. Why do you think he was wearing the uniform?
Because he thought he was going to go to war, I think. War against what he believed and what he perceives as wrong.
Uh-huh.
And pretty much the lemurs he thinks is like, oh, I'm going to get them. I'm going to make them change their minds and make them perfect Christian.
So you think,
Hold
You think basically there was a stance as a warrior going on there? All right.
If it's,
Just for the record, I made the same hypothesis.
if his superiors catch him with that tape, or catch him saying that stuff on TV, he's gonna get reprimanded more times than I could think.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Well, I took Marine ROTC along with several other people I know. Like, I'm not gonna go and name names though, but
Yeah.
people I know and those who do know who I'm talking about, yeah. One of the first things we learned is, he's right about you can't wear your uniform, profit, political, that sort of thing. That all of the views he was making was all for political nature. Therefore, he was taking it to religious and political extremes, which is pretty much breaking the military's code of uniform. One of the smaller rules, but still it's a rule, and to the military that's a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things are big to the military, like military intelligence. Sorry, Sergeant, but that's one thing you're lacking. It's not the military. You've got the military part down, I think, but the intelligence part, okay, you're wearing a uniform. That's rule one you've broken. 2, you keep trying to sell the National Guard, United States Army. That's 2. You pretty much turned your own little TV time into half an hour, something like that?
Yeah.
Of drivel. You're insulting people that you hardly even know on a show that, is fictional. I mean, if these people actually believed and did what you claim they do, like if they were actually Satanists. I know Satanists. I told them about this. They caught your little thing and they don't go around worshiping the devil and ripping children's hearts out or anything. No. Actually, they're the nicest, sweetest people you'll ever meet. And despite what you think, they do not go around performing blood sacrifices. You want the Greek and I think, the Roman God followers. Next story over. Thank you.
But seriously, I want to ask you folks a question very seriously. Do you think he sleeps in that uniform?
I think he does.
I mean,
The one time he got laid, I think he was wearing that uniform. He showers in it.
Many improprieties have been committed whilst wearing said uniform.
And he's worn it since Vietnam. I mean, no, the same uniform, no laundering or anything, and it's like, cum stains on those pants from Nam, boys and girls. I mean...
I just want to address the Abbey of the Lemur, the cult leader. I saw a program where she was wearing a shirt that said Satan on it, like she was proud of Satan.
Yeah. Oh. Well, proud of Satan. How do you do that?
Oh, Satan. I'm just so glad that you won that spelling bee.
Oh, good little Satan winning the swim competition.
My little Satan. The cult leader.
Yeah.
You bet your ass, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even know the beginning of it. And that's all I'll say. You'll find out.
It appears to me that she's trying to follow Satan.
Follow him where? To the 7-Eleven? What the fuck?
The old dirt road.
Yeah.
But, it's obvious when you wear a T-shirt that says something that you are what that T-shirt says.
Hey, it's okay, Sarge. I'm a Christian now.
Don't hate you.
Hey, look. I'm a sailor.
Oh, wait, I'm Jim fucking Morrison. Holy shit, Robin, I'm Batman. What's this one say? NASA, Ames Research Center. Well, goddamn, I'm a fucking rocket scientist.
You know, Satan was an evil being that got thrown out of heaven because he tried to rebel against authority. And when he couldn't have his way, he started hating everyone and everything. And he's done nothing since then but to try to destroy people. Their heart, their minds, and their souls.
But theology for dummies by dummies ensues, and the Sarge puts a simplistic spin on the fall of Satan that jibes with his narrow agenda. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, getting a little theological discussion here. Now, Lucifer was cast out of heaven. It wasn't for, like, throwing a little rebellious hissy fit because, you know, God wouldn't let him have the car for the weekend or something like that. I mean, did he or did he not say, I am like the Most High? And he basically tried to usurp God. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, I think I am like the Most High is a direct quote.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. You know, you could go into this, on so many theological levels, but Sarge wouldn't understand a single one of them, so let's just leave it alone.
Yeah, all right.
And so Satan is real just as God is real.
Anyone want to comment on that?
Keeping it real, man.
Sure. Wait, what did he say again? Satan is real just as God is real. Well, supposing they're both figments of your fucking imagination, then what?
It's a beard scratcher. Forehead rubber.
Forehead rubber. God created us all, and he loves us all just like an artist creates a painting, and he loves his own work.
Forehead rubber.
God made you exactly the way you are and exactly the way he wants you. And
wow, think about that. There's a heavy whammy. And probably a self-defeating bit of commentary there. I mean, serious. I mean, if that is so, then let's look at it this way. God made the lemurs just the way he wanted us.
You're darn.
And he likes us this way.
Yep.
Nasty fucking mole on my cock and all.
Yeah.
Yep. He made this beautiful piece of meat sitting here in front of you.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
Gotta love him.
Yeah, God. Isn't he great?
A lot of spray.
Yeah.
And, you know, and he put us on Earth for a reason. I was going to say to re-educate this guy's ignorant ass, but, you know, there's probably only
Even
so much
God
you can
couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know, God's a source of great joy to me, you know. You wake up in the morning and you look out the window and you say, oh, look at that little shit try.
mm-hmm. Wants you to know that he loves you and he cares about you.
Makes my heart all warm and tingly. I care about and love him too.
Anyway.
Sometimes more than I should, but I won't talk about that here.
I think I'll go out to the goat pen and gather up some nice little chocolates for him for Valentine's Day. Little droppings.
Anyway, this cult leader on this program that they put out, their voices were constantly negative.
Oh, look, we're straightening up the furniture. How negative is that? I mean, his definition of
good guys. Pin the good guy badge on us.
Yeah, goddammit.
I mean, his definition of negative might not match ours. Going through life a moronic bullet head, to me, is negative.
That's really negative.
Having no sense of humor is negative.
being the Sarge is negative. And you wake up in the morning, you look like that, it's like, it'd pass a crying towel, man. I mean,
I think I'd blow my brains out.
yeah, and he thinks we're so goddamn negative,
How could he get such an idea?
I don't know. I mean, it sucks because
Hey, we resemble
are,
that remark.
Yeah. We
No.
radiate positive energy.
Yeah, we're just positronic engines.
That's right.
They were giving the finger. She gave the finger and said, "I've got a message for you people in Fayetteville," and then gave the people of Fayetteville the finger. So it seems to me like she's got a heart that doesn't care about anyone.
Or it could mean that this guy's like never heard of punk rock, or Mad Magazine, or or a Pulse.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a joke, ass.
Yeah, I mean,
Concepts like confrontational humor. Forget about it.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just have to change gestures, and he doesn't get the finger.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarge!
Yep. Well, more to the point, maybe what it means is this guy's, the exact kind of clueless dipshit that, we made a career out of targeting.
Yep. And, and it's just a symbol, and a lot of the things that this Joker's getting upset over are symbolic, and the swastika is just a fucking symbol, too. I mean, it's all symbols, and people are getting upset. Hey, it's a symbol. There's another one. It's just symbols. It's meaningless. Of course, I don't expect you to get that because that would take a certain amount of rationalism. But someday, if the intelligence fairy ever drops down in your lap and gives you a brain, maybe you can comprehend satire someday. And that's my wish for you, that someday you'll be able to get it.
Get something.
Get stuff.
She said, "I'm a thorn in the side of Fayetteville day in and day out, all year long," and she was proud of that.
Well, she should be.
And if you count this guy's mentality as the norm in Fayetteville, and the Sarge would seem to concur, well, she should be proud.
I am bursting with pride. And
Okay.
I don't know.
You don't even take time off for the holidays. You're just 24/7 all year long.
Yeah, I am a perpetual thorn in the side, and that was in my job description when I took this job as a lemur. So, what can I say? I give, that's my public service, and I give service with a smile.
She wants to hurt people in Fayetteville, is the way it seemed to me.
That statement, where does that come from? It's so clinically moronic, it's hard not to laugh.
It comes from a damaged brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really going about hurting people in Fayetteville. You can go down to Washington Regional and see all the people that I've personally fucked up in this town. You say, hey, it's like you go.
Shannon did this to you, didn't she?
They have a Shannon X frock wing over at the hospital of people that I've fucking crippled. So, so maybe the Sarge has a point. What the fuck?
If there are people in Fayetteville, who are that mentally deficient, then, we are and will always be a thorn in their side. And in being so, in our opinion, we're doing humanity a fucking service.
Amen.
Anyway, I heard her discussing several things. She talked about wanting to shoot people in downtown Fayetteville. She talked about using profanity quite often. And the young man that was in the tape of their program as well did the same thing.
Yeah, as far as using profanity, hey, guilty as charged.
Fucking A.
Yeah, and, fuck you if you don't like it. And if we're on TV making jokes about shooting people, well, gee, we're obviously out there doing it, right?
Yeah.
So here we have another case of a sap who is taking everything so literally. And this is a veritable epidemic in this society these days.
Well, yeah.
So here's a solution for all the morons out there. Let's take the English language, just replace the whole shebang with a simple little utilitarian language that consists of 10 really simple, like monosyllabic words that don't have any double meaning, any nuance, anything like that. And that way these people won't be confused, okay? Just take the Queen's English and all its complexity, beauty, and nuance and just flush the fucker, all right?
Yeah, I mean the Sarge, he's on about the way that I hurt people, and
That'll
like
make
I said,
everything better.
yeah, you go to the hospital and you see, like I said, the wing where I fuck people up and stuff, but just the concept, that this guy does not get it, I don't know that I can make such a joke, and the guy takes it seriously.
Yeah, just goddamn literalists.
And he's not the only one. Let me point out, Sarge, you're not alone in your goddamn idiocy. We got calls from half the fucking town, saying that I was so evil for wanting to gut shoot frat boys.
Yeah. She's really out there gut shooting frat boys,
So watch out, Sigma Nu. I'm coming for your ass. It's a joke!
But there was a parade, I guess, in downtown Fayetteville not too long ago, but they were interviewing children. And these children were from Farmington. And, I just wonder, parents, if you don't keep an eye on your children and teach them not to talk to strangers, what they're going to do is they're going to get influenced by the wrong types of people.
No, look out. Now we're the wrong kinds of people.
Yeah.
The wrong types of people. Is this a class issue with you, jackass? Here's what always chaps our asses about these community mouthpiece jerk-offs, okay? They're always the ones who draw a line in the sand and talk about how they're members of the community, blah, 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 the community. And they're always drawing that line in the sand, talking about who gets to be a member of the community and who doesn't.
Yeah.
And, and we made that point on our first night show, which is one of the shows he's, pissing and whining about. There's no shortage of these schmucks. And when we hoist our middle finger up at the camera, these are exactly the kinds of people we're addressing, And since the Sarge has jumped enthusiastically to their defense and, drawn that line in the sand by calling us the wrong type of people, we feel pretty safe in lumping him in with the contingent of folks that we're giving the finger.
Yeah. Well, and he goes on, this cretin, he goes on about the community and how, we violate community standards. I got a news flash. We are the community. It's us. And as much as you would like to oust us from the community, we're a part of it, and we're not going away. So, you know what, Sarge? You've offended our community standards. And so we're going to make a show complaining about your ass. I am so offended. I am horrified that you would come and make such a... I think I'll go to City Hall.
Let's whine to City Hall.
Yeah, well, like it hasn't been done about our show before. See, Sarge, you can hold your head up high. You're not the only whiner who's complained about us, so you're in good company with the rest of the candy asses and jerk-offs in this town. So,
but
you're not alone.
Yeah, but there's a side note I want to make note of here because he talks about us interviewing these kids. Mm-hmm. And as a side note, in the case of the girls from Rogers, who were probably ate up the lion's share of our interview time, their mother was on hand throughout that shoot, and she had no problem with us. And the thing you ought to realize, Mr. Kovach, is not every parent shares your paranoia.
Not every adult shares your paranoia. And it's like, you know, thank you.
We're just a merry fucking bunch here.
Yeah. And that's what, yeah, see, Sarge says we're so negative.
Yeah.
We're so negative, and we never have fun. And we're so horrible. And we just don't have any joy. Well, I want to tell you something, Sarge. See, we're smiling. We're laughing. I'll tell you what, Sarge, I'm one slap-happy motherfucker.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
So I know you parents love your children, and I hope you children know your parents love you. All parents aren't perfect kids, but they care about you, and they have your best interest at mind, but people like this do not.
I reckon that kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, I would reckon. And parents always, as we know, have their children's best interests in mind while they fuck them up the ass and beat them and force them into mind-twisting religions and all the other stuff that they're so good at. And you parentoids out there, you know what I'm talking about, and you kids definitely know what I'm talking about. And so anyway, yeah, all parents know, you know, it's all for the best, of course. Your parents just have your absolute best interests in mind, and that's why they come into your room at night and molest you. And so, yeah, the Sarge knows best. Parents are all just wonderful. They're angels. Man, those fuckers ought to have wings. They're so great, you know. They're angels walking among us. You betcha.
Anyway, they were interviewing these children, and they were using profanity to the kids in their conversation, and all of a sudden the kids are repeating back what they heard these grown-ups from the Lemur, the way they were saying, that the kids would repeat it back the same way. And so they were being a bad influence on them.
Well, there's grammatical data right there. But, you know, this is complete bullshit.
Liar, liar,
Yeah.
pants on fire.
Yeah, I mean, if he were to look at that and see that was the kind of thing, if he really thinks that's the way it went, if that was what he recalled, then, I mean, what the hell was he on? You know, was he drinking or on drugs or something? I don't know. Well, the thing is, we were actually being fairly mild language-wise, and the kids were doing fine all by themselves. Mostly, in the case of the bad language, which really wasn't that bad.
No.
I mean, they weren't really saying anything, and they certainly weren't repeating what we were telling them.
I think those kids were bad influence on y'all.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, those kids, they turned us into smartasses.
Yeah, well, actually, we've been smart asses since we were, I don't know,
In diapers.
in diapers. But, you know, but we weren't feeding them profanities.
No.
And they weren't picking up what we were saying and repeating it. And tape of our show will support that.
And, oh, the horrible, horrible things they said. They said, sucks.
Sucks.
This sucks. Oh, my God, somebody go beat them.
It's so terrible. You
I don't know, my virgin ears are roasted. I mean, you know, I don't think I'll ever recover.
Well, imagine, I mean...
Oh, and one of them used a slang term for testes, and oops, can't have that.
Yeah. But,
They
you know,
didn't
it's
say
like,
anything.
I didn't say anything that was, you know, that would merit anything bad, any kind of... But, you know, it's just... I mean, imagine, you're 14 years old or whatever, and, someone actually turns a camera on you. I mean, we wish this had happened when we were kids, Somebody turns a camera on you, and you're bored, and you're going, you're just really having a shitty time, and somebody actually gives you a forum to express your disgust and boredom. Hey, ain't that terrible?
Yeah, I know.
When I was a kid, I would have killed for that.
Oh, no shit,
But why did these kids react so positively to us? Might it have been because we didn't talk down to them? Would the Sarge have talked down to them? Would he have looked out for their best interests? Kids are smart, okay? They can smell bullshit when someone foists it off on them. The joke with a guy like Sergeant Kovach and a million other would-be defenders of youth is that they don't know or understand young people, and they underestimate them.
Yep.
I heard them talking about wanting illicit sex on one of their programs, and I think this is bad.
Bullshit.
Illicit sex? When?
Name that show.
Yeah. Okay, I'll fully and happily admit that I want sex, but I want sex that's legal and binding.
Nice.
If I were airing, but think about that, illicit sex, illegal sex, whatever the fuck that means. If I were sitting there, okay, on the air, airing public appeals for something illegal, I would be the biggest fucking idiot in the world. And maybe Sergeant Kovach is that big an idiot, but I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, if we're going to do something totally illegal, would we be doing it live on television? Give me a break. And the illicit...
Yeah, why not just be out there with semaphore flags? Arrest me!
Yeah. Pederast!
Jackass.
But
Children don't need to be influenced by adults in a sexual manner.
I don't like where that's going.
Meaning what exactly? I'm not sure I like where you're going here, bucko, and I think you're cruising for a bruising.
Yep.
Legally speaking, I mean,
Yeah, you gotta be sure to clarify that because this guy can't take figurative speech.
Yeah, this motherfucker, if I say cruising for a bruising, this motherfucker's so stupid, he's liable to think I mean I want to get in a fist fight with him. He would be that fucking dumb.
Yeah, and he'd lose like a dog.
Sex is something that God made, and it's for marriage in a close relationship where one partner cares about another. And that's where sex belongs. It doesn't belong to anyone to do what they want with it.
Are you sure? Yeah, I'm about to turn 40. Never been married. Never even been close. And I'll tell you this, if I waited until marriage, I'd be dead insane or a serial killer right now. So, go fuck yourself. If there was some wonderful divine plan to provide me with my needs, as the Sarge claims, then this so-called God has seriously dropped the ball. So I guess I'm on my own. Huh? I just wanted to take a moment out to talk to some of the young people out there, and I know some of them are part of the new courtship movement, the abstinence movement, the WWJD movement, and whatever other trendy system of self-denial or social castration is out there. And a lot of you are making important decisions right now about waiting for marriage, yada, yada, yada. I want to tell you that I've been there. I've done long, grueling stretches in my life of nonstop, excruciating, involuntary celibacy. And if there's anything I could impart to the young people who are making these decisions right now, it is this. Kids are starving in China. Get out there and fuck. Get out there and fuck like bunny rabbits. I mean it. I've been to the mountain, and it's just not worth it, okay? Just get out there and fuck. Don't be stupid, play safe, don't get pregnant, don't get any, diseases or anything like that, but God damn it, have a good time.
Yep.
Don't let the libido Scrooges get you down. Celibacy is overrated, and so is waiting. Have fun now. Fuck a lot. We're all going to die. If sociopathic lunatics like George W. Bush and Osama bin Laden have their way, then we're all going to die real soon. Never mind these lies. Just get out there, have fun, and fuck. And if you don't get out there and get laid, you will end up looking just like that man. And if that doesn't disturb you, it should.
This has been a public service announcement.
And we have laws against trying to influence children that are underage. And so I would caution you parents to not let your children watch these folks on TV, because they'll be influenced in a very negative way.
Yeah, Christ forbid, they might actually start thinking, you know. But, you know, this might be a good time to talk about our target audience and, you know, the way we air our show. We ought to do it really slow and really simple so even the Sarge can understand it. We air our show, we've said this before, we're going to say it again, we air our show after midnight voluntarily so that young children won't watch us and so that parents know that provocative material is going to be shown. In addition, we always begin our programs with warnings telling viewers that viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah, we have a disclaimer before every show, and it's got letters like, it's got letters the size of fucking people telling you that this show might contain some fucking profanity.
And
so get your kids
folks
out of the room, because I know you've got a room full of kids sitting there at midnight on Saturday. I know that's when you line up the little toddlers to, to chew on their Cheerios and watch TV.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, let's just, you know, we never claimed this was a kiddie show. It's a show for adults. We are adults. We like adult programming. You know, I think we can all say that when we were growing up, there were things that were for kids, there were things that were for the whole family, and there are things that were for the grown-ups, you know, and that was okay. The grown-ups had their own time, and that was a good thing, because, you know, it gave you something to look forward to when you grew up.
yeah, well, and another thing I want to address is when the Sarge goes on and on and on about children, and the children we were talking to, and the children who watch this show.
His definition of children is a little fucking broad.
His definition of children is really fucked up. And, and he says we're influencing children badly. And, you know, he makes it sound... Stop choking that chicken. Let me choke the chicken.
Yeah.
But anyway, he talks about children, you know, and
well, there's a lot going on right now to protect the children.
well, yeah,
I mean, there's a whole breed of people who want to squash, you know, anything that adult, you know, any adult type thing, you know. Ban adult websites, stop people from selling adult items on internet auction sites, ban controversial records, books, films, all to protect the children. Not everything in the world has to be for children. Sorry, it just doesn't.
yeah,
And if you don't like it, shop elsewhere, Jack.
yeah, and I don't know. You know, I guess the Sarge wants every channel to run shit like, you know, Barney the butt fucking dinosaur or whatever.
Well, Barney, they say Barney's satanic, but
Oh yeah, that's right. Damn
Yeah,
his
satanic and gay.
damn
yeah.
his purple ass. Well, the Teletubbies are fakes too, aren't they?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
at least
okay.
one of them.
Yeah, Tinky Winky, you know, and we all know where he's been. But yeah, kids shows, you know, everything's got to be for the kids, and you know, and
Well-
again, his definition of kids. What I don't like is when he critiques our New Year's shindig. He talks about us being a bad influence on all those children, The Joker's making it sound like we're talking to 3-year-olds. He makes it sound like, we've got a group of, little runs in diapers standing around and we're getting them to, jerk off in front of the camera or something. I mean, give me a fucking break. They were junior high students, some high school students,
Stupid.
They're
prick.
old enough.
But conversely, I think it's important to say that I think, if kids in their mid-teens or, young adults or kids in their mid-teens or whatever are tuning into the Abbey of the Lemur, and I mean, if you're old enough to dictate your bedtime and dictate what you watch when, I mean, you're old enough to watch Abbey of the Lemur.
Hell yes, we welcome our
And we have no
teenage
problem
viewers.
with that. We have no problem with
Sarge.
that. Chances are they're savvy enough to get the joke, more so in some cases than a lot of adults. Kids that age are developing critical thinking skills, and unless they're completely brainwashed, they might have their brains cracked open and develop some new perspectives. They might realize they have a choice beyond living in a box. Some people, of course, would rather devote their lives to welding themselves into a box. And how healthy is that? Yeah, now we're seeing some healthy activity.
I heard on the program they were talking about encouraging children to rebel against parents in all authority.
Guilty.
Yeah.
To leave Fayetteville, telling them run away from home and look at Fayetteville in your rearview mirror. This is what I recall.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
how negative is that?
I think that's an extremely positive thing myself. And again, this guy says, that we were getting children, we were talking children into running away, I think he says.
Well, again, I don't know. The whole thing about, again, it's like, who do we address on our show, really? I mean, even when we're addressing children, think about, like, say, some of the stuff we've done on our show, like where I was eating the hamburger, or where, just anything you did on slouching, or say that whole don't do drugs thing that we did. I mean, who are we really addressing? Are we addressing children, or are we addressing stupid adults and maybe trying to antagonize them and bring out kind of a hypocritical thing in them? And, well, obviously we do a hell of a good job, because look at the Sarge. But, to look at your shitty little bumfuck town in the rearview mirror, how negative is that really? Has Kovach ever... He's never been an alien kid who felt like he had no options. There was never any call here, to tell children, and the Sarge's definition of children's a little broad, like we've said before, to run away from home. But if there's a halfway common trait, I find this kind of interesting that he's saying this, that I know among people who joined the military that I've known, is that a lot of them did it to get out of their bumfuck town. Now, when we talk about looking at this town in your rearview mirror, we don't necessarily mean Fayetteville. We mean any town, every town, Certainly any town where you don't feel like you have any options or future. That doesn't even apply to geography. It could mean a call to leave a mindset, a call to leave an abusive relationship. The choice is yours, stay or split. It doesn't just apply to young people either. It could apply to the elderly. What's the phrase that we lemurs like to use a lot these days?
Buck the tide before the tide bucks you.
Yes, sirree.
Yes, sirree, Bob.
You folks from the Abbey of the Lemur, I don't dislike you.
No, then he said, I don't like you.
I don't dislike you. Oh, Chief, that's a load off our minds.
Yeah.
We lose sleep overnight as to whether, just fearing that this guy doesn't like us.
Your opinion of us matters so much.
But,
But yeah, hearing that, man, yeah, that's a load off my ass.
But, we don't dislike the Sarge either.
No, we don't.
I don't think we do. I don't think we don't.
We'd go drinking with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I dislike... Well, nah, I guess I don't.
I dislike his rotten ideology. The
Yeah.
Sarge himself, I'm sure, is a stand-up guy.
Yeah. And, And, you know, we've got this free butt donut that he can have. But, you know, we don't dislike the Sarge. We
I've
just
got
happen to
something
think
for
he's
you,
a clueless
Sarge.
putz.
You may think I do, but I'm concerned about your souls too and your happiness.
Yeah. He's so concerned about our happiness that he popped up on TV bitching about our show.
And, you know, saying all these nasty things about us, like we're trying to sexually influence children and all this other, yeah. That someone who doesn't dislike you is going to go doing things like that.
Yeah, whatever, Sarge. With friends like that,
Yeah.
Come on,
who
Sarge.
needs hemorrhoids?
Where's the love?
Where's the love? Can you feel the love in this room?
Show us the love of Christ.
Anyway.
Jesus.
I saw one of the gentlemen from the Lemur that was in here the other day when I was in talking to Pam, and he had the expression, just the unhappiest expression on his face. You could tell he wasn't happy at all.
I was half asleep.
You know, I just felt sorry for him. I wanted to speak to him, but I decided not to.
All right, can I give my side of the story here? All right. I was sitting in the station, and I just rolled out of bed. I work nights, and I was sucking down some caffeine, and Pamela was walking around giving the grand tour to this squirrely-ass, Don Knotts-looking motherfucker. And he was wearing this uniform, this black beret, and this coat of some kind. He looked like a meter maid. Okay, he looked like a meter maid. And she kept calling him Sergeant. And and I just felt sorry for him because he looked like he had spent years with that broomstick up his ass. And I thought about helping him out. Maybe I could, like, pry it loose with a crowbar. And I remembered I didn't have a crowbar, so I just shrugged it off.
I just want you folks from the Lemur to know that Jesus loves you, and I care about you too. I'd like to see you prosper and be happy in life. And you don't seem to be very happy.
No, we're just so patently unhappy. I mean, we're just paragons of misery.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've said this before to you guys, but it's like my happiness or purported lack thereof is none of this guy's business.
No shit.
And if it were, he'd hate it because it would mean he'd have to invest in these really sturdy knee pads.
You seem to be very negative and very hateful and vindictive toward everyone around you, unless you're trying to win someone's friendship in particular for whatever motivation you have.
Yeah, because the only reason we befriend people, you know, is because we have ulterior motives. And we always want to use people and fuck with them and be generally evil. And you see, that's why we invite people into our homes and show them hospitality and have them come spend the night or, you know, party with us, or, you know, that's why we fix food for them and stuff, is because we're really just using them and we're just hateful motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any real friends. See, everything's all about that ulterior motive. And if we ever say hi to you on the street, it's probably because we're about to stick a screw in your back.
Yeah. But, you know, with all this talk of negativity, I mean, we're basically decent folks. But if we seem cynical and we act kind of shitty sometimes, I don't know what to tell you. The parts of us that really love our fellow men, you know, and kind of the idealistic parts of us, I guess you could say, are the same parts of us that get really disgusted and disappointed at the end of the day when people do really stupid shit and live up to our lowest expectations. And this guy Kovach is no help. But I'm reminded of the words of Anne Frank in these moments where she said, deep down inside, or...
Keep going with Anne Frank. This is heartwarming.
Well, no, because, she said, what was it? In spite of everything, I still believe that people are good deep down inside. You know what, folks? Anne Frank is a lampshade. And much of the reason and you can laugh if you want at my little semantical faux pas, but the reason that Anne Frank is a lampshade is mostly because of good citizens who didn't question authority and did whatever they were told to do.
That's right.
How about that?
The Auschwitz lawns are full of victims of good citizens.
One thing that really disturbed me is not only did you speak about killing people in Fayetteville, but you talked about the young lady, Sharon or whatever her name was, she wanted to sacrifice children to Satan. I take it that you meant that you want to murder children to Satan, and if not, you were speaking about influencing them to follow an evil, negative way of life.
Yeah, that must be it, right? We're going to roll this clip right now from that show. We're going to show you exactly what she said.
Unlike this gig, we would have already sacrificed 5 or 6 kids to Satan, just for starters. And we'd give you beef jerky. You didn't get any jerky here, did you? I didn't think so.
Okay, now anyone with a brain above the size of a lentil bean should be able to tell you that when the phrases satanic sacrifice and beef jerky are uttered, juxtaposed, or uttered in the same general area of conversation, it's a joke. It's humor. Spell it out with me. H-U-M-O-R. Joke. Comedy. Funny. Whether you think it's funny or not, and I personally don't give a rat's puckered ass whether you do or not, I mean... Sorry. It's a joke. And but since we're talking about, sacrificing children to Satan, what does the modern Satanist say about sacrificing children and animals and all that stuff?
Well, looky here. Look what I've pulled out of my ass. It's a copy of the Satanic Bible by the late, great Anton LaVey. Well, let's just see what the Satanic Bible has to say about sacrificing children and animals, shall we? Under no circumstances would a Satanist sacrifice any animal or baby. For centuries, propagandists of the right-hand path have been prattling over the supposed sacrifices of small children and voluptuous maidens at the hands of diabolists. It would be thought that anyone reading or hearing of these heinous accounts would immediately question their authenticity, taking into consideration the biased sources of the stories. On the contrary, as with all holy lies which are accepted without reservation, this assumed modus operandi of the Satanists persists to this day. There are sound and logical reasons why the Satanists could not perform such sacrifices. Man, the animal, is the Godhead to the Satanist. The purest form of carnal existence reposes in the bodies of animals and human children who have not grown old enough to deny themselves their natural desires. They can perceive things that the average adult human can never hope to. Therefore, the Satanist holds these beings in sacred regard, knowing he can learn much from these natural magicians of the world. Up yours, Sarge.
And I'm sorry that you feel that way, but you need to change because that's not good for you and it's not good for those around you.
Well, it's certainly not good for humorless dipshits. Hey, look! She changed! Huzzah!
God put it into the heart of all to appreciate truth
Well, which truth? You know, you talk to 10 different people, you're going to get 10 different versions of the truth. You might talk to the three of us, and you might get three similar truths, but, you know, they'll be filtered through individual perspectives. So, you know, any concept, any discussion of truth is basically subjective and abstract and fairly irrelevant to this discourse.
Here's the truth.
There's the truth.
To appreciate love, to give love first, and also to receive it, and security. Everybody understands those three things: truth, love, and security. We all need those things.
And good luck finding them.
And being hateful and negative, and even having murder in your heart, is certainly not the way God intended for us to live.
Well, I feel hateful and negative just listening to this guy's horse shit, you know,
Yep.
So, I mean, if that's not the way God intended me to live, why did God create this guy?
He ain't nothing but a little piece of turd.
And what the hell is he on about with this murder shit?
Yeah.
What a freak. I mean, he accuses us of being so negative and everything, and he's the one seeing all the negativity and everything that we say.
Yeah.
You know, we're murderers, we're this and that, you know.
Yeah, he just has a dirty mind.
Yep,
You know,
absolutely.
but a murderous mind. But
Yeah.
anyway.
He's got hair on his palms.
Yeah.
I think I've covered pretty much everything about Abbey of the Lemur.
It's good to know, you know, because we're just getting started.
Yep.
And again, I wish God's blessings on you folks if you change your heart and turn toward the Lord, who loves you very much and died for you.
Yeah, well, he wishes God's blessings on us if we change our heart, but, you know, if not, we can take a flying fuck, right? Well, but hey, look, now we've all changed. We've changed our clothes anyway, if not our hearts.
Yeah.
And I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the fact that the holidays went by. It's, you know, about a month and a half ago, we had Christmas. And I want to take this time out. Since we're changing, I want to take this time out to show everybody here this great new Christmas present I got. Check it out. I want to show y'all this. See? New socks.
Man, it's fucking styling, man.
Anyway. Back to the Sarge.
Back to the Sarge.
He sacrificed his own life while he lived in the flesh 2,000 years ago just for you. Not for just everyone, but specifically for you. He loves you and he cares about you.
Well, once again, we have this guy giving us the ABCs of Judeo-Christianity. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know,
We do get it a lot, don't we?
well, I don't feel any too good about it, and here's why. The Sarge, like a lot of other people in this community, is approaching us as if we've never set foot in a church before, or as if we have no idea how Christianity operates. And it's totally erroneous. We do know, because we've all lived through it. We are all victims of mainstream Christianity. Panda and Chuck are escapees of the Roman Catholic Church. And if you want to talk about religion, don't even get started with me, because I have spent so much time in church and so much time occupied with religion that it's not even funny. And on the whole, I have probably done a lot more time in church and done a lot more service in the church than Sarge has ever thought about. So for him to be talking down to us, to be condescending to us as if we've never entered into a church building before, well, it's just ludicrous, that's all. I spent many years in the service of the church.
What'd you do?
I was a church organist, I was a church pianist, I was a traveling gospel musician, I nearly entered the clergy, and I was a Sunday school teacher, among other things. That's just the beginning.
And this is all absolutely true, folks. We're not yanking your chain this time.
God's honest truth. And I was adopted into a family of fundamentalists, and different members of the family were fundamentalists of different sorts. And so I was very much steeped in traditional Baptist theology, Anabaptist theology, and Pentecostal theology. And I've spent an awful lot of time in the Pentecostal church and among the Baptists and many different types of Baptists. And I do have major problems now in adulthood, and as I age, I have more problems with traditional fundamental Christianity. I think that in many ways it's what I personally like to label as toxic theology. And
Want to explain why?
later, in another program, I'm going to be doing a whole show about toxic theology. So, be sure to catch that. But
You can just give us kind of the bare
But
bones
in
now.
a nutshell, one of the reasons that I think fundamentalism is toxic is because it denies the validity and the goodness of humanity. One of the basic tenets of Calvinism, the first major tenet, is the total depravity of man. I do not believe in the total depravity of man. I object to that idea. I believe that humankind can be inherently good. I believe that humankind is redeemable. I can't go in with the mind-numbing negativity of Calvinism, a system in which I was raised. It is dark, depressing, bitter, hateful theology. And I believe that there is so much more than that. And Sarge acts as if we have no spirituality whatsoever. I protest. I am a spiritual person. And I do have intent to develop my spirituality to the highest potential. However, that doesn't mean I'm going to go join up at the First Baptist Church. I have no intent whatsoever of doing this. Because when I look at mainstream religion, I say to myself, there has just got to be more than this. And it's my quest for more than this that has taken me from the sublime to the ridiculous, looking for something that I find personally fulfilling. But what is not fulfilling to me is ass-kissing the God of the First Baptist Church of Buttfuck Egypt. What is not fulfilling to me is parroting things that a preacher told you just because he said so. I believe that the church, as you typically find in the South or in America today, is a misogynistic, racist, hideous institution. Please don't ask me to support that. I have better things to do. If you wish to support that and you feel that that's what really fulfills you, then go for it. But don't try to drag John Q. Public into it. I don't believe in religions that beat you over the head in an attempt to proselytize. I feel that the church is doing, on the whole, more harm than good. They're turning out a nation of sheep and followers and people who switch off their brains and follow whatever some lame brain tells them to, just because he has a piece of parchment from some seminary. You know, I just don't go in for all that. And I think that the Sarge is in error in trying to sell us on a worldview that we find repugnant.
We don't need evil. We don't need hate, and we don't need profanity.
Snacks! God damn chicken pussy! God damn!
Cocksucker!
We don't need it on TV, especially for kids. Any child can view that and be maybe if they're having a hard time at home, they may be easily influenced by people like who I've mentioned.
All right, and this is real important here, I think. Herein lies the crux of this guy's hypocrisy. Not only that, herein lies the crux of a good number of people are detractors, a good number of hypocrisy of all these people. Does that make any sense? Forget it, I'm on a roll. All right, he expresses concern for how the Abbey of the Lemur might negatively influence troubled youth. And we get this a lot. We've gotten this for years. Okay? We didn't make troubled youth. Sorry, folks. It's just the truth. We didn't. We didn't manufacture them. People like you did. Every censorship fuck in America takes this tack, and it's bogus beyond belief. You couldn't convince me that people like this give a shit. All right? Up until the point that an artist comes along and makes some noise, ridicules the system, shows its stupidity up, there's no problem. It's, oh, la, 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 I don't see anything, right? Yeah, big joke. But does anybody remember the furor in schools over Bart Simpson t-shirts that happened about a decade ago?
I do.
Yep.
Anyone remember the cultural witch hunts following Columbine, or people who've got nothing better to do other than dog something as innocuous as Harry Potter books, as those were any kind of a problem connected with reality? You know. Because when you set yourself up with a scapegoat, you get to feel better about yourself by tackling an imagined problem without having to deal with the complexities of a real problem. Until somebody comes along into the public eye and calls bullshit on the system, hypocritical authority figures or whatever, no one will give a good goddamn about troubled, marginalized youth who are having trouble at home. And when time comes, it's nothing but a hunt for a scapegoat. And since that's so much easier than looking at their own hypocrisy, or heaven forbid, going through the actual work of dealing with a real problem, Sergeant Kovach can take his bogus, superficial concerns for troubled youth and jam them up his ass.
Amen.
And you know what? Tell you what, I think we can safely maintain that we care more about troubled youth than any of these demagogues.
We care a damn sight more for troubled youth.
And why?
Because we were troubled youth.
Mm-hmm.
We were the kids you fucking threw away. And now we're coming back to haunt your ass.
Mm-hmm.
We're haunting your ass as a public service.
And rebellion against authorities is bad.
Okay, so let's just kowtow to authority because we've been told to do it, right? You know, let's shoot a few holes in this guy's fetishistic love for authority. What's rebellion against authority given us?
America.
All the advances in science.
Science, medicine, the arts. The United States of America itself, yeah. You know. Galileo rebelled against authority. Copernicus rebelled against authority. Columbus rebelled against authority. Gandhi rebelled against authority. Jesus Christ rebels against authority too, and was by modern definitions a terrorist. So were our,
Civil rights.
Civil rights. Our founding fathers were by modern definition terrorists. By that token, if not for rebellion, yeah. All right. No. So we wouldn't have an America if not for rebellion against authority, you know. And so much for your half-assed patriotism. You know, so rebellion against authority is bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so let's not question authority, but let's question that statement, right?
Yep.
Since rebellion against authority is bad, you know, we have to respect all authority figures without question. So what if that authority figure is an abusive alcoholic? Or what if that authority figure is molesting you? Do they still get respect as carte blanche?
Well, in the Sarge's world, yes, they do.
Yeah.
In reality, any parentoid, any authority figure that is abusing you, you tell them to go get fucked.
Yeah. I've spoken to a lot of people, mostly women, who've been treated horrifically as kids and adolescents and put up with a ton of abuse, all kinds of shit heaped on them. And because the abusers happened to be authority figures who they were supposed to trust, guardians, people who were supposed to guide them, they took all that abuse to heart and wound up pretty fucked in the head. They wound up pretty fucked in the head because, you know, it was kind of like, well, this person's my dad, or this person knows so much, or whatever, you know, and so it's like, they must be right in what they're doing. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
So what we get as a result is damaged adults. Should this be acceptable? And Sergeant Kovach, by imparting such sweeping, ignorant advice, is he not contributing to the problem?
He is a major part of the problem.
Is he as such condoning the problem?
Hell yes.
Let me encourage all you wonderful children out there, listen to what your mom and dad has to say. They've been down the road a little further than you, and they've had some experiences and some accumulation of knowledge that can help you from time to time.
So do we.
Guess what? Yep, so do we.
And we're putting it to use. And I'm doing it without pants.
And they care about you, so listen to what they've got to say.
They care about you, unless, of course, they're fucking you up the ass.
Yeah, well, they care. Maybe they care about you, maybe they don't. If you're lucky, they do.
Yeah, it's a 50-50. It's a crapshoot.
Anyway.
Why in the hell do people think that parents are always these loving, wonderful figures, you know, that are so all-wise and all-knowing? Such horse shit, you know?
Yeah, well, they're fallible humans like anyone else.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the police, we've got a wonderful police department in Fayetteville. I'd like to praise the Fayetteville PD.
The fucking widescreen version of the Sarge, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, what's next? So is the DVD coming out soon, the special edition DVD, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna have all these special features like maybe the Sarge with a techno soundtrack and a remix, and maybe you'll get like they'll do this dramatization type thing, you know, it'll be like the making of the Sarge, and it'll just have him sitting around like, you know, maybe lying in bed, you know, kind of flipping the channels, and maybe he's like drinking a cup of cocoa or something like that, and he just flipping channels, and he sees Abbey of the Lemur, he's like, oh, no, children, you know, just, and you know, maybe they could do something in the dramatization. They could get Ben Affleck to play him or something like that, you know.
Anyway, you know, life is based on God who created us all.
Life is based on carbon, isn't it?
You know, the Bible definition of love can be found in the New Testament. It's a really good definition. I can't think of the verse right offhand. I'd have to look in my concordance.
1 Corinthians chapter 13.
Jackass.
If somebody is telling you they love you, but yet they're being selfish, they don't love you.
You know, now, here we go again, and you know, the Sarge giving us relationship advice. You know, this guy's better than Miss Cleo. And
let's call him now for our free reading.
Yeah.
So God's love is not selfish. He has your best interest at heart before his own.
Can he defend that scripturally? What are God's interests?
Golf.
Knitting.
Yeah.
One of the best ways that you can do this is as you get to be 17 or 18, and I've had 21 years of military experience dating back as far as 1972. I served during the last 3 years of the Vietnam War, and I found the military to be a wonderful way to serve your country and your community.
Boy, there's the rub, huh?
Where do you even start with this horse shit?
No, I mean, you know, the Abbey of the Lemur is so bad and we're so evil because we make off-color jokes about shooting people or killing people or whatever, and we're sick corrupters of youth. And then, well, let me tell you folks, the Abbey of the Lemur, we have never killed a person in our lives. Sorry, that's just the truth. This guy, on the other hand, served like, what did he say, 20-some-odd years in the military and
went to Nam.
Went to Nam. I mean, chances are good he killed a few people, you know. So what's he talking about? I mean, we're these evil, bad, sick corruptors of youth. And so this hypocritical dickhead is going to encourage youth to join in this institution where, by its very nature, sorry, but this is the truth, by its very nature, they will be trained to kill people.
Mm-hmm.
And what? He's killed a potato, maybe. This one out here. This mutant potato. But, you know, he's, you know, but goddamn, you know, I mean, threw me off completely.
Well, here's this joker saying how rotten and evil we are and how bad we are for kids, but we're not telling kids to go into a line where they could potentially get killed.
Yeah.
You know, we're telling them to say hell no to the system.
They will be, you know, join the military, guess what? You will be trained to kill people.
And they all have
unlike us, who we haven't killed anybody, but
no.
You will be trained to kill people. You will be shown many, many ways to kill people. That is a big part of what the military is all about. And you'll be thrown in immediate danger of being killed by somebody else. So who's really endangering youth here, folks?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That would be the Sarge.
Yeah. Every one of us has friends and or loved ones who are or have been in the military. And if that floats your boat, go ahead and join. But don't have the gall to point fingers at the Abbey of the Lemur.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud to wear this uniform. That's one of the reasons I have it on today. That's the main reason I have it on.
And it still doesn't explain jack shit as to why he's wearing the uniform.
He never explains it.
No.
And I just want you to know that I love my country, and I love my community out there, each and every one of you.
Oh, you want a cookie?
Yeah. Like we don't.
Yeah, well, I think we love our country more because we have the balls to stand up and question it and criticize it instead of simply kissing ass.
And we are the community.
Yeah, and word in your ear, motherfucker, that includes our community, including all the wrong kinds of people you want to divorce the community from.
The Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And my favorite verse is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9. It says, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourself. It is a gift of God, a free gift."
Shan, there's a piece from Ephesians you really like, isn't there? That,
I can't recall. I know it's in one of the Pauline epistles, but fathers, provoke not thy sons to wrath, I believe. And that's a paraphrase. Provoke not thy children to anger. But nobody ever looks at that. They go to the Old Testament for all
the
this,
gang,
spare the rod, spoil the child horse shit.
Yeah, well, the gang in the Promise Keepers rally never bring that one up, that's for sure.
Oh, the Promise Keepers, don't even get me started.
Promise breakers.
Yeah, no shit.
But here's a Bible verse I really like, a couple of Bible verses I really like, and I want to thank Harris for giving us this. And it's from the book of Numbers. And I'm going to read it for you. "Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with him. But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves." This is the word of God. And by the way, if you have, if you're interested, I have this bridge that I'm trying to unload out in Brooklyn, New York. Come get a look at it if you want.
How much?
We all have faults in our life, and these faults God calls sin.
Waffle House, on the other hand, calls it corned beef hash smothered in jalapenos.
And because of sin, we deserve to pay the penalty for sin. But the only penalty is to be eternally separated from God. And that place of eternal separation is called hell.
Or Earth. Or maybe Detroit. Or, I don't know, maybe the Kovach household.
But God didn't create us to go there.
He didn't create us to go there, then why did he invent the son of a bitch?
Yeah, he didn't create us to go there, but according to this guy's logic, he's sending us down there in droves, Talk about your flawed logic.
Now let me just briefly mention some of the great, wonderful community services we have. The American Legion is a great service to the community. Each year they have a free Thanksgiving dinner with all the trimmings, turkey and ham and dessert and the whole 9 yards. They have that free for anyone who would like to have a meal on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Of course, we just had the Thanksgiving, but December 23rd at noon on Curtis Avenue in South. I would encourage those of you who are interested in the National Guard and would like to serve your country. There are a lot of great benefits. I can't begin to tell you about all of them. I'm looking for the recruiter's name. Staff Sergeant Barnes, you can find out all the details about benefits and the way you can serve your country and your community.
But he plugs the National Guard and shills for Staff Sergeant Barnes, the recruiter, gives the phone number, hawks the National Guard and its benefits to high school kids.
Trying to get them killed once again?
Yeah, trying to get them. Well, okay, now, I'm going to really actually, once again, speak to the youth of Fayetteville, speak to kids who are just maybe getting ready to graduate high school. A known medical fact about military recruiters is they'll spin all kinds of great stories for you, tell you all kinds of stuff they're going to give you and everything. When the time comes to deliver, It's like trying to pass a camel through the eye of a needle.
Like trying to pass a camel at your ass.
Recruiters are hucksters, and the name of the game is to get you the hell in there and give you as little as possible.
We'll
But,
be living in poverty on a military wage.
yep,
Serious poverty.
yep.
At least,
And we know folks who have been through it.
Well, yeah.
there's plenty of drinking going on.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, well, there's a good influence that the Sarge can give to the youth of America. Join the Army. Stay drunk every night. Maybe you can pick up a couple whores in Tijuana.
And pick up some syphilis in North Korea.
You can pick, you can pick
I
up
don't know.
old junkies behind the Y.
And maybe you didn't laugh too hard at me.
Oh, no, sir.
And, you know, in closing, I'd just like to say that my favorite comedian when I was growing up was Red Skelton. He's the funniest guy I ever saw.
I'm
Hey.
hemorrhaging.
Hey, I watched Red Skelton when I was a kid,
Yep.
too. Do I get brownie points for that? No, probably not. I have to, accept, his, narrow view of Jesus and, and like Red Skelton, then I'll be aces.
Yeah.
That's it for the notes.
Yeah. Wow.
Anybody wanna do some stupid ass shit?
Yes. There.
What would the unnamed one do in a situation like this?
All right. Woohoo!
Check it
All
out.
right.
Check it out.
Ooh, don't want to get too close to that.
That's a wrap, folks. Bucky says, we don't need evil, we don't need hate, and we don't need profanity. No, you don't. What?
Great.
Oh, boy.
Can we show that?
Got that for Christmas.
Right as you stood up, it just went whoop right up the side.
Yes.
Thank God for the editing bay.
Yeah.
The butt donut.
You can be the guardian of the butt donut. Oh, hail the mighty butt donut.
Life preserver.
The rubber chicken saved from drowning by the butt donut. All right.
So I think the one last thing I want to ask you is, do you think that Sergeant Kovach is a good role model?
Okay, if he's a good role model, then my name is Gwen Stacy. I was killed in an issue of Spider-Man several years ago. Hello, look, I'm Steve Austin. I'm a positive role model. I'm a fictitious character! No, if he's a good role model, then I'm a good role model.
Are you a good role model?
Oh, hell no.